What happened to the Backrooms? A deep dive into one of the internet's most haunting urban legends. Introduction: the birth of a digital nightmare. In May 2019, an anonymous user on the board of 4chan posted a photo of a strange, yellow-tinted room with stained carpet, bland wallpaper, and no clear point of entry or exit. Accompanying the image was a short piece of text that would go on to define a whole new genre of internet horror. If you're not careful and you knuckle out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum humbuzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. This single post sparked a wildfire of creativity. Within weeks, the concept of the Backrooms became an internet sensation, an eerie blend of creepypasta, found footage horror, urban legend, and collaborative world-building. It was a place where people were said to knocklip, a term borrowed from video games meaning to pass through solid walls or floors, out of reality and end up in a nightmarish labyrinth of monotonous, industrial, or liminal environments. But like many online phenomena that shine brightly and fade quickly, the Backrooms underwent a dramatic transformation. From its roots as a grassroots horror concept to its current place in mainstream media, the journey of the Backrooms reflects both the power and pitfalls of internet culture. So, what happened to the Backrooms? Part 1: The Viral Explosion, Why It Worked So Well. The concept of the Backrooms thrived for several key reasons. 1. Liminal spaces and the uncanny familiar. The Backrooms were terrifying not because they were filled with monsters, but because they were empty. They evoked liminal spaces, transitional places like hallways, stairwells, waiting rooms, or abandoned offices. These places are normally meant to be passed through, not inhabited. When isolated and removed from context, they become surreal and disorienting. The internet quickly latched onto this liminal aesthetic as a powerful source of discomfort. The endless hum of fluorescent lights, peeling wallpaper, and the feeling of being alone in a space that feels almost, but not quite, normal taps into a deep, existential kind of fear. 2. Nostalgia and memory decay. For many, the Backrooms triggered strange feelings of nostalgia. The rooms looked like something out of a 1990s office building or school, bland, functional, and sterile. They resembled the textures of old video games, the hallways of forgotten malls, or the kinds of places children once wandered while their parents shopped. But the memories were unclear, blurred by time and emotion. This mixture of familiarity and decay turned the Backrooms into a psychological trap, a place that felt like you should recognize it, even if you never truly had. 3. Open source horror. One of the defining features of the Backrooms was that it was essentially public domain horror. There was no official creator, no copyright, and no centralized canon. Anyone could add to the mythos. Communities on Reddit, YouTube, and Discord built sprawling wikis and catalogs of levels in the Backrooms, ranging from the classic yellow rooms, level 0, to bizarre industrial zones, hotel-like corridors, desert landscapes, and beyond. Each level came with its own dangers, entities, and survival rules. This decentralized approach allowed the community to grow organically. It became a crowdsourced horror universe, similar in spirit to the SCP Foundation, but less rigid and more surreal. Part 2: The Turning Point, From Mystery to Oversaturation. With popularity came growth, but also creative fragmentation. 1. Too many levels, too much lore. As more people began contributing to the Backrooms mythos, the concept started to balloon. The simplicity of Level 0, a never-ending maze of yellow, decaying rooms, was replaced with hundreds of increasingly elaborate and outlandish levels. While this expansion showed creativity, it also diluted the core horror. The more the Backrooms were explained, cataloged, and theorized, the less scary they became. What was once a minimalist and ambiguous space became a cluttered multiverse filled with monsters, factions, backstories, and alternate realities. Some fans loved the detail, others felt it lost its soul. 2. Competing canons and internal conflict. Different communities began to develop their own interpretations of what the Backrooms really were. Some leaned into cosmic horror, others into dystopian sci-fi, and others into psychological metaphor. Arguments over canon, tone, and direction became common. This fragmentation made it harder for new fans to jump in, and for older fans to stay engaged. Without a unified vision, the Backrooms began to feel less like a cohesive idea and more like an overused setting. 3. Trend fatigue. By 2022, the internet had largely moved on to new horror trends. Like many viral phenomena, the Backrooms began to suffer from overexposure. Its aesthetic became meme-ified, repackaged in low-effort content, and spread thin across TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit. What was once fresh became cliché. Part 3. The Kane Pixels Resurgence. Just as interest was waning, a YouTuber named Kane Parsons, aka Kane Pixels, revitalized the concept in spectacular fashion. In January 2022, he released a short found-footage horror film titled The Backrooms, Found Footage. Shot in a VHS-style format, the film showed a young man accidentally falling into the backrooms during a filming session, only to become lost in a terrifying and seemingly endless labyrinth. Kane's videos were praised for their cinematic quality, atmosphere, and storytelling. He combined analog horror with digital aesthetics and introduced a new narrative. A mysterious government organization, Async, had discovered the backrooms as part of an experiment gone wrong. His success led to more episodes and deepened lore, drawing millions of views and reinvigorating interest in the Backrooms. 1. From creepypasta to cinema. Kane's work took the Backrooms out of the purely fan-driven space and into something closer to professional media. This shift was further solidified in 2023 when it was announced that A24, the studio behind films like Hereditary and Midsommar, would be producing a Backrooms feature film, with Kane himself directing. For many, this felt like a full-circle moment. A teenage fan was now leading a Hollywood adaptation of a meme that started on 4chan. But it also marked a turning point. What was once a collaborative internet myth was becoming centralized, formalized, and monetized. Part 4. What are the Backrooms today? So, what happened to the Backrooms? 1. Still alive, but no longer a mystery. As of 2025, the Backrooms still have a presence in internet culture. Fan art, indie games, short stories, and YouTube videos continue to explore its themes. The concept is far from dead, but it has shifted. It's no longer the ambiguous, haunting myth that took over the web in 2019. Instead, it has become part of a broader genre of liminal horror, influencing how people think about fear, nostalgia, and space. 2. The liminal aesthetic lives on. Even as the Backrooms themselves have faded from the spotlight, the feeling they evoke continues to thrive. The liminal space's aesthetic, empty malls, foggy streets, abandoned schools, has found its way into music videos, photo series, video games, and horror films.